Good morning, everybody. It's Angie, and today at queenbeing.com, here we are hanging out with coffee. Well, okay, I accidentally finished my coffee already, but I will be having some more shortly. So, as soon as my chat comes up, we will be talking. So, while I'm waiting for that, let me just say this. On this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse recovery. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. If that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. Good morning, Jillian. Good morning, Bama. How you guys doing? So I know I'm a little late today. I apologize for that. I thought today we would ask some questions. Um, and good morning, Rick. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Barbara, Sabrina, Marissa, Amy Baby. Welcome back. Rose, Nikki, Bama says, "What up, my beautiful peeps?" Casey forgets. Hey, Casey. About to have her second cup too. NL says, "Good morning, beautiful. Happy Friday. I'm at work for so no coffee for now. Bummer, but glad you're here." NL. Jamie, good morning, Jamie. Good morning, James. Good morning, leche por favor. Happy Friday, Bama. Uh, Casey forgets says she has a question. Lay it on me, girl. Judy Beeman says, "Morning with my mocha." Right on, Judy. Rose Hargrove says you're Hargrove. I can't even say names properly. Says you're fabulous. Well, thank you, love. So are you. Amelia says, "Good afternoon from Estonia." Right on, Estonia. Welcome, Amelia. Jillian says, "Ha! I was the first one here finally. Happy Friday, all. What's up, Jillian?" Lou, that's who. Good morning. I love the smileys and the kissies. Bama says, "I want to ask the group if I should give my narc a closure session with Angie, praying about this." Oh, we will talk about that. Yeah, that's a good question. So, group, just so you know, Bama's narc reached out to me through a comment and said she would like to pay for a session for herself and Bama. Now, we all know that typically narcissists aren't very good with closure, but what do you guys think? Let her know your thoughts on that. Angela Bowers, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, good morning. Elise says good morning. Good morning, Elise. Hey, Jamie B. Good morning, sunshines. The Truth Hurts says, "Angie, could you watch this too?" Okay. I will try to do that when I can. The Truth Hurts. You can email me, angyyatkinson@gmail.com. That's a better way to get my attention. Mel Lenz, good morning. Good, beautiful Friday morning. It is a beautiful day, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I should work outside today. Good morning, Nadia, honey. How are you? Happy Friday. Yes, today is a new day full of new hope and new possibilities. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think every day is one of those days, and I especially think today is one of those days. Today is also my kid's last day of school. I love the summer. I'm such a nerd. I know a lot of people, they can't wait for their kids to start school in the fall, but I'm always excited to have them come home for the summer. It's just, I'm a nerd. Jean says, "Good morning, all. South Carolina in the house. Third cup of coffee, girl. I'm about to get mine in a minute. Don't even worry about it." Bama says, "I've been in hell the last 2 days. Bama, I really hate that you feel that way, honey. I hate it so much. I wish you felt better." I love your little sassiness, though. I have to be honest. I just wish you didn't feel sad. The Truth Hurts says, "Contact me." Yeah, Truth Hurts. I'll try. I get really busy. I'm so sorry. Jamie B says, "Angie, how do you feel about cord cutting? Too hippie woo woo?" Well, to be honest with you, Jamie B, I'm going to tell you a really quick story. There was a moment in my life where I felt a cord break. So I don't think it's too hippie woo woo. When I finally went no contact with my first narcissist, who was my parent, there was a situation in which my parent caused or attempted to cause trouble in my family with my children. And I'm like so nice as a person in general. Like I'm like laid back and cool about stuff. But if you mess with my children, I turn into one of those animal type bear type mama bear situation, and watch out. So yeah, I felt when I realized what had happened and what had occurred. I remember exactly where I was sitting and what was happening and what I was wearing and everything. I literally felt that cord snap, that feeling of obligation and of I owe this person something and I'm required to give this person my attention and my time and all that stuff. Pow, gone in a second. 35 years of it, gone. was good stuff. I mean, it was terrible at the moment, but now in hindsight, I realize it was a good thing. Yeah, I think cord cutting is a thing that it could work for people. Yeah, because the truth is we are connected to them, whether they're our parent or they're someone that we've been intimate with or spent time with, had children with. We are connected to them, whether we like it or not. We're connected, and so certainly, if that cord feels like it's still holding on, and if you can't seem to, you know, let go of it, absolutely, I think that's a good ceremonial thing, or more than that, maybe depending on what you do and how it works for you. Yeah. Okay, Leche, por favor. She said, I went to court yesterday. The temporary restraining order was made permanent. Yay! Congratulations! She says, the judge had a stern talk with my ex, and that judge has been assigned to the divorce. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps. I'm so happy for you. She says it was a good day. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Really. I, I know it's going to be okay. I literally have goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them in the camera, but woo! Good one. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Leche. Casey Forgets says, well, after having been in a relationship for 2 years now with a narcissist, I'm now in a relationship with someone who is autistic. Ooh, I'm wondering if you've done research on the differences in autism versus narcissism. That is an interesting question, my love, and I'm going to tell you what. I've done a little bit of research in that, but I would love to do some more and make a video. Okay, so I'm putting it on my list, and I want you to stay tuned because I know that autistic people typically sometimes seem to be, I'm guessing your person is on the lower end of the spectrum, but because they don't have the same kind of concerns in so many ways that we do, that that I don't want to say regular people, but people who don't have autism tend to have more social concerns and care more about what other people think. And so and if you speak to someone with autism, and you say, I don't like your hair, they may not be offended by that. And therefore, if they said to you, I don't like your hair and it might hurt your feelings, they don't understand why it would hurt your feelings because it wouldn't hurt their feelings. So I don't think that they're not capable of empathy. I just think that they typically tend to not be as concerned about the same sort of things as everyone else. And so they sort of seem like they don't have empathy when they speak to you very factually. But if it's someone with, I'm guessing you're dealing with someone with Asperger's or a mild, lower on the spectrum, I'm writing it on my list. Because I think that's a really interesting thing. I'd love to research it some more. I have a bunch of moms in my group who have autistic children, and I think that's a really good question, Casey. I will make a video for you. All right. Bama says Snake isn't going to change, but would love seeing Angie pull the narc mask off. They can't handle it. They absolutely can't, and I would be happy to try, Bama. I really would. I would be happy to see if we could work through it together, and who knows what could happen. I want you to be comfortable and happy. I don't want you to be stressed out like this. I know that it's so hard. I've had an autistic female friend as well in my past, and it's very not autistic, narcissistic. I'm sorry, I've still got autism on the brain. Narcissistic female friend in the past, and it's very difficult. So, and Casey Forgets says sometimes I need to remind myself that it's autism, not narcissism. Sure, that's understandable. Yeah, and I would want to know more. Do you know what type of autism it is? Is it officially diagnosed? Tell me more information about that if you have a moment, Casey. Jillian says, Bama, are you on SPAN? It's going to get easier. I promise this is the hard part. She is so right. And Bama, if you're not in SPAN, I think you are. But if you're not, get in there, girl. We need you. And you need us. It's a really great group. And we're very, very, and I'm not trying to be like vain or arrogant when I say this, because it's not because of me. I mean, the group that we have on SPAN is amazing. We have amazing admins. We have amazing members. Jillian's one of our members. We have amazing people. And I would say, even though like every group has somebody that comes in and tries to troll now and then, our admins are on it. And we are like, it's the best group I've ever been in. And I'm so thrilled that it's our group. So get in there, queenbeing.com/SPAN if you want to join. And somebody can throw that in the comments. That would be awesome. Maybe Jillian. Let's see. Yeah, Judy says maybe Bama can get closure. Yeah, absolutely, Judy, and that's why I would be willing to try it for Bama's sake. I want to make sure everybody's okay. I think that it's very difficult for a narcissist to acknowledge that they're a narcissist. So I would want you, yes, Bama, last day of school, absolutely. I would want you to remember before we would start something like that, that the narcissist may never give you the closure you want, but I could try to help facilitate understanding between you and the narcissist and potentially a little more. Now, sometimes female narcissists, depending on the severity, are easier to deal with in certain ways, but they're just as sneaky as male narcissists. And in this case, I remember the situation that you told me about. I think she's got a touch of the histrionic type of personality where she's very, very sexually driven and uses her sexuality a lot. And I know that's a difficult situation. So good morning, Loping Paint Girl. Welcome, welcome. I haven't seen you here before. Happy to have you. All right, Jay Meeby says, I need to join SPAN too. The hoovering and flying monkeys got me twisted. Girl, join SPAN. We need you there. Come on. You're part of the fam. The Spanily, as I like to call it. Get in there. And when you get in there, I want you to tell me you're Jay Meeby from YouTube so I remember, okay? Okay, so I can connect you. Because like Jillian over here on YouTube is JT. So for like the first, I don't know, a few weeks that I was seeing her on YouTube as JT, well, maybe that's a couple of days, but I didn't realize she was Jillian. It's silly. But anyway, so tell me who you are when you come over there. YouTube, Bama. Oh, Bama says, I need a soul tie break session. Okay, I can dig that. That's sensible to me. Got to keep the psychic feeding from happening. Yeah, you know what? And until then, Bama, do the thing where you start here. Imagine a white little ball of light coming out, enveloping you like an egg. It grows. It's a white ball of light, and all the way down under your feet, all the way up above your head, around your arms, the whole thing. I find that to be a very useful exercise as an empath, for dealing with anything. It helps to kind of keep it's real easy for us as empaths to feel other people, sometimes to the point that it causes our own issues. Like this morning, my middle son was feeling anxious, and I was feeling his anxiety. And because he's my baby and I love him so much, I couldn't. I mean, he's not a baby, he's 13, but and bigger than me. But I felt really strongly the same type of anxiety, and I had to be like, okay, let's calm down, everybody. So it worked out fine. But yeah, that bubble is important, especially when you're dealing with someone like that. If it works for you, it works for me. Superstar Q Gildia, well, welcome. I know I saw you in there yesterday, didn't I? Or did I see you in a comment? Anyway, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Says narcs do not like closure, so they control you. Absolutely. I don't even think they understand the concept of closure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's silly. Good morning, body and soul. Welcome back, honey. All right, Bama says, Angie, I could see you as a protective mom. I love it. Girl, you want to hear a funny story? So one day, here I was, and hanging out, doing my thing. My kid came home, my 13-year-old, I was telling you about, and he said, Mom, can you look on Life 360, which is the app we use to, follow each other around if we need on our phones. We can know where we are and everything, and tell me where my phone is because I think somebody stole it. And I said, okay. I picked it up and I looked. And I said, oh, it's over here on this street, down the street, whatever. And he said, well, and he told me some kid. So before he even finished his story, I was in the car with him in the back seat, driving over there like some kind of vigilante, because you don't take things from my child, especially things I have to pay hundreds of dollars for. And so we traced the phone to its location, which was in this different neighborhood that was not that far from my neighborhood, but in St. Louis, that's how it is. Everybody's, but it's what they call Section 8 housing. Anyway, I felt bad for the kid because his parents clearly were not paying very much attention to him, but he was outside and we caught him with the phone, and I walked right up to him, and the phone was in his pocket, of course. And I said, I need you to give my son his phone back, please. And he said, I didn't take his phone. And then right at that moment, my phone said, you have arrived. And I was like, yeah, give me the phone, dude, or I'm going to go tell your mom. Long story short, we got the phone back. And then I walked right up to the door, knocked at the door because my son said, where's the case? And those OtterBox cases are like $50. I'm cheap, you guys. And I bought this case to protect this hundreds of dollars phone. And so we walked up to the house and knocked on the door. And I was pretty sure there was some bad stuff going on in the house when the mom opened the door. So I very politely asked for the phone and left. But I sure felt like a tough ass vigilante that day. Protective for sure. Crazy, maybe a little bit. I'm just kidding. You know how it is though. My point is that I wouldn't have done that if it were my phone necessarily. I would have been scared. But because it were my child, somebody literally took it from him. It's a long story. Anyway, that's how I rolled that day. That was crazy. I'm proud of it, and I feel dumb about it at the same time because I could have been in a lot of trouble, but I did okay. All right. So, and I should mention I'm only 5 feet tall. so when I'm like walking around in the world, I'm like a little shorter than most people. All right. Anyway, Barbara says, I don't understand how anyone can get through this. I'm sad all the time to the point of suicide. I don't want to see him with someone else. Why has he left me? I did nothing to him. I miss him. Oh, Barbara, honey, I'm so sorry. I feel your pain. I know how horrible that feels. I really do. I understand completely how that feels, and it's devastating for sure. But can you try changing your mind? Can you try to look at it from a different perspective? Can you maybe set an end date on your mourning? One of the things that I recommend to my clients and that I do myself is even when someone dies in my life, someone I really care about, I decide, okay, I have this many days or months or whatever, weeks to be sad about this thing, and then I have to move forward. And I try to keep it, reasonable. Like if it's like when my grandfather died, I gave myself 2 weeks to mourn before I was ready to like start life over again. And it's an interesting situation. But I would like to ask you to write down everything that he did to you that was terrible and put it aside and keep it for moments you feel like this again. And in the meantime, I'd like you to set a date that you're going to stop crying and being sad. And I'd also like you to start focusing on yourself now instead of the fact that you miss him. Start focusing on the fact that you're not being abused anymore, and start focusing on the fact that someone should love you. Barbara, I want you to treat yourself the same way that a good mother would treat her child. So I want you to ask yourself, how can I, what would I say to my daughter or my niece or my friend, anybody that you care about very much, if they were in the same situation? What kind of advice would you give that person? I want you to give yourself the same advice, because I promise you wouldn't say to your daughter or your niece or your godchild or your friend, go back to that abuser if you want to. I promise you wouldn't say that. Give yourself the same kind of love that a good mother would have given you. Try that. All right. Somebody tell SM to refresh. She can't see or hear me. Okay, let's see. Jamie says, whoa. What? Did I miss something? Oh, she's talking about when I was all crazy. Okay. Let's see. Bama says, I love it, Angie. Bam. Bama, we should have coffee sometime, or drinks, whatever. Oh, I have a big audience, Jillian says. Cool. Okay, I'm going to try to catch everybody. Hold on a minute. Oh, there we go, Jamie, my beautiful assistant and friend, put in the Queen Being Span thing. Okay. I lost my place in chat, and I don't want to miss anybody, so bear with me. I'm rolling back up here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, let's see. I wish I could. Oh, all right. Bama says to Barbara, I feel you, sister. Much love and many hugs. Jillian says, it's been my experience that the only way to get closer with the narcissist is to go no contact and stay no contact. Closure, she meant, I assume. She said, it's been my experience that the only way to get closure with the narcissist is to go no contact and stay no contact. Absolutely. She said, I don't think they're ever going to give you the closure because they don't see it. Right. They don't want it to be closure because they want to make sure that if there's a chance that sometime you might, they might need you or whatever, maybe they can get back in with you. If they give you closure, then, won't work. Maybe they'll use the excuse of giving you closure to get back in. The hoovering thing is a big thing, and people don't realize. So often people tell me, I don't think this person's ever going to hoover me. And I say, well, just be careful because it's possible. And almost always somebody comes back and says, okay, they hoovered. It's been a day, it's been a week, it's been a year, they hoovered, whatever. And so be prepared for that. That's when you have to, that's why it's so important for you to work on your healing when you're going through the mess. You feel me? Okay. Raquel, hello Raquel, welcome back, welcome back. Says, I believe my brothers are narcissists. I love them, but I just need to stay away. Of course, they are angry for me about my ex. I can't remember what STBX means. I'm sorry, but I assume you're narcissistic ex. And Raquel, it's okay for you to give yourself some space from people like that, even when they're your brothers. It's okay. Jay Meeby says, I've done a couple of meditations on cord cutting, but I haven't felt the disconnect yet. For me, it was not a conscious effort, Jay Meeby. It was something that literally happened. And again, this was my first narcissist that this happened with. It was my parent. So it was maybe different, but I literally felt it break, snap. And I know that, I mean, I literally felt it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but, and at that moment, all of that sense of obligation and connection and everything dropped to the floor. It was gone. I didn't have it, and I still haven't had it since, because don't mess with my babies. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Bama says, congrats on the court win. Praise the Lord. Whoop, whoop. I like her. She's cute. Okay, wait a minute. Let me try to find my spot again. Okay. Okay. Leche says, thank you. JT says, closure. I knew that's what you meant, girl. Judy Beeman says, when my dad broke my shoulders, good Lord. What? 2 of my 3 kids saw it. Judy, I'm so sorry. They told CPS they thought he was killing me. The CPS agent was something. Hold on, my arrow's in the way here. The CPS agent was in tears by the time he interviewed me. I'm so sorry that that happened to you, Judy. I'm so sorry. I cannot even imagine that pain. I'm so sorry. Bama says autistic versus narcissist. Do a scope. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's a good idea. Nadia says, Barbara, it wasn't you. If he tortured you and put you through torment, where'd it go? He will do it to another woman. Yes. And the cycle will continue. Yes, that is absolutely true. And Nadia is correct when she says they are not capable of real love. Take care of you. That's absolutely true, Barbara. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with this, Barbara. I feel terrible that you're feeling this way, but I want you to try really hard to set an end date on this. Make sure you take the time to write down all the things, all the reasons you don't want him back, and keep a copy of it with you in case you need to refresh your memory, because it's real easy. The longer we stay away from them, the easier it is for us to stop feeling like they are who they are. You see what I mean? And it's easier for us to remember the good times and feel alone and feel like, well, I could put up with that crap for just a little while longer so I don't have to be alone. But Barbara, that's not really what you really, really want. Deep inside, your inside self is telling you right now, that's your broken self telling you that you want him back. But there's another part of yourself in there that's telling you that you're doing the right thing by staying away. And that part of you is probably maybe just needs to be brought to the surface. The part of you that wants the best for yourself and not just whatever you can get. Okay. SM says, I got my own closure by asking him to meet me after 3 years, no contact. Wait a minute. And had to forgive myself by telling him I know how and what he is, so he can stop thinking I'll take him back, and I haven't seen him since. SM, that is great. I would say not everybody can do that. If your narcissist has been violent with you or is going to stalk you or act crazy, be very careful. SM's situation might be a little different than yours, so don't assume that you can always get any closure at all. And especially if you're dealing with a violent person or a person who is maybe on the psychopathic or sociopathic spectrum, steer clear, my friend. No matter what, you're going to have to get your own closure without that person. Okay. And G maybe is on my same page with poor Judy. That's a terrible situation. Dolores says, good morning. Good morning, Dolores. Welcome back. My daughter has Asperger's. She is short on empathy. Yeah, Dolores, I think, and that's an interesting thing. I know they do seem very short on empathy, and they are up to a point only, but I really believe, and I could be wrong, and I like I said, I'm doing more research, but I really believe that it's more about they don't have empathy for things they don't care about or that they don't feel are important. So, most people that and Asperger's might be a little different too. I don't know. But I have looked into it some for various reasons, but I will, before I continue about that, I'm going to go ahead and do some more research. Amelia says breaking the cord, whether you have kids together or not, is a good idea. Yeah, I agree. Making room for good people in your life makes the best people stay in your life no matter what anyway. I like that. Excuse me, Bama says autistic folks have many social concerns. I think that might be true. I don't want to incorrectly state anything about anything, so I'm not. But I will do research. Um, Barbara says everyone believes his lies. I miss him so much. All I do is miss him. I would give anything to have him stop this craziness. Barbara, how can we help you to let go? Um, I think the cord cutting might be a good idea for you. Maybe you need to get away for a while, maybe a little mini vacation by yourself, or just even go stay in a hotel room. If you're still living in the same house where you lived with him, that can be devastating. So maybe get out of there. Maybe do something different in the house. Switch it up a little bit. Get a different, set of curtains, or change the bedspread, or rearrange. And one thing I like to tell people is to go out and buy something inexpensive that they think is beautiful. So when I was leaving my ex-husband and I bought my first home by myself, I I bought this $7 candle from Pier One Imports, a candle holder. It was one of those mosaic candle holders, and I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. And I put it in this prominent spot in my new home, and I said to myself, this is a symbol of my independence. And I love that thing, and I still have it today. It's on my front entryway table in my house now. So maybe that's something that would help you, like some sort of a token object that you could look at and recall the good things, and remind yourself of the good things. One of the things, Barbara, that I don't want to try any tough love things with you right now because I know you're very sensitive, but one of the things that I would say to you is I would ask you, is it helping you to feel the way you're feeling right now? Can you control the situation? And is there anything that you can do to stop focusing on the things that you don't want in your life instead of the things that you do? I would ask you to try doing the 10 morning gratitudes, things you're grateful for, 10 things each day, and maybe right before you go to bed as well, and the 3 things you love about yourself. And I would ask you to try, at least during this very painful time, to try to start, once you get to your end date on your morning, to try to start not focusing on him for a while. And each time you do, change your mind. Intentional thought management can be really, really helpful here. You don't have to stay miserable. And the longer you stay sad and angry, the longer he still controls you. And I know you're still in a very sensitive, and fragile spot right now, Barbara, but you do have some control over your own emotions if you're being honest with yourself. And I understand you feel devastated. I understand. I do. I really understand. I know exactly how that feels. And I also know that if I've given myself the opportunity to stay feeling that way, I could do it all day long. I could still feel that way today if I wanted to. But I try really hard to keep my vibration positive, because then I draw more good things into my life. I hope that's helpful. SM says, it was the only way I could forgive myself and forgive him and finally be free. Everyone is different. Absolutely. And she says, I don't recommend it if not ready, though. Yeah. And I think if the person wasn't violent to you and won't stalk you later, that certainly it could be valuable to you. But I think you have to consider your personal situation before you try something like that. And 3 years is 3 years. It's a long time. So that also would give you a little bit of emotional distance as well, I would think. Later, Raquel has to go to work. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. Okay, Jamie says to Bama, I say it's a safe environment and you go into it with no expectations. Why not try for closure? Be prepared that it may just make things worse and lead to more manipulation. Right. And I think if we did something like that, we would want to be straight up with her and explain to her that this is like a no contact type, outside of the coaching, maybe a no contact situation, and that it's a closure effort, because I think you need to make it real clear to her that you're finished, if that's the case. Yeah. All right. Raquel is going to work. Have a great day, Raquel. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming in. All right. Emilia, can you share your way of breaking cords with me? Great. Love that. Pop it out there, girl. Nadia says, I tried to break the cord 3 months ago and it backfired. My narcissist husband is very manipulative, made the police let him back into my house, which I legally own. Grr. I hope that you have started the eviction process because I think I don't know where you're living right now, but I know that typically, yeah, there are issues with someone having lived in your home for 90 days or more. I think it depends on which state or country you live in, but around here, it's like 90 days or more, and then they can force you to let them stay in the house for up to 90 days more, and they can drag it out for a long time. So if you if you haven't already started the process for eviction, I would start it. Just my suggestion. Jamie B says, Happy Friday, Raquel. Bama says, autistic folks are not in touch, or rather are programmed differently. There you go. Some autistic children are incredible empaths. Yeah, I have seen that actually. So that's why I don't think that they don't have empathy. I think they do. I just sometimes think that, and then sometimes they have too much, which is probably what you're talking about with the incredible empaths. Yeah. Jillian says, I tried to get closure many times and it only led to defeat and a continued connection with a narcissist. Same page. Yeah, I'm with you. Michelle says, no contact, end it. Yep. Agreed. Hi, Michelle. I haven't seen you before. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. Trying to get through all these. I don't want to miss anybody's chat. Dolores says, they do shed skins. I have seen it. That is interesting. Very fascinating. Casey says, yes, it's Asperger's. And oh my God, he did say something about my hair. Funny enough. See? Are you sure that you are strong enough and that you want to be with someone who has Asperger's, Casey? Just curious. And I don't mean to say anything bad about anybody with Asperger's, but if the relationship isn't feeling right to you, then just be careful and don't get yourself any deeper than you need to. I just don't want you to be hurt. Jillian says, I like Angie's idea of writing a letter but not sending it. Yeah, I do that a lot. You can burn the letter and have a ceremony. You don't need to talk to the narcissist to get closure, right? Because to be perfectly honest with you, that's the only way you'll ever get the last word in. And I really think the very best, revenge or closure you could possibly have is to go on and have a better life without the narcissist. And you choose that. Don't think that you're powerless. Don't think that you don't have choice here. You may not be able to make that person into whoever you want them to be, but that's because we all have free will. Okay. But what you can do is make yourself into whoever you want to be. So who do you want to be? Ask yourself that question. All right. Casey says officially diagnosed Asperger's. Okay. Body and Soul says autistic people don't have ulterior motives like the narc. That is a very excellent point. There it goes. Okay. I want to read this whole comment to you because this is very good insight. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but I couldn't say it as well as Body and Soul says it. Well, so let me just read you her comment. It says, autistic people don't have ulterior motives like the narcissist. Their neurology makes them seem as though they have little empathy, but they actually just don't have the ability to always read facial expressions accurately, etc. Thank you. That is very well put, and I'm really happy that you said that because that helps clarify what I was trying to say in my bumbly way. Thank you very much, Body and Soul. That's very insightful. Hello, Liz. Welcome back. Says, do narcissists like my mother always love bombs? She never loved bombs. That's different. Love bombing is typically, some narcissistic parents do love bomb their children for different reasons, but typically love bombing is part of a romantic situation. But if for some reason your narcissist mother thought you were going to leave her, and not be around her anymore, or she thought she needed you to behave a certain way for a certain thing, she may be really, really sweet to you for a while, or she may act very supportive or give you something that you've always wanted from her, like, mother love that means something that's unconditional or seems unconditional. And that might be her version of love bombing. Her version of love bombing might be doing your laundry for you. It's different with different people and different relationships, if that's helpful. I bet you wish you would once in a while love bomb you. SM says, I was ready for a face-to-face and I knew it. Yeah. And that's okay, SM. It's okay. You know better than anybody else what the dynamic is in that situation. I do think that in most situations, I just want to reiterate, in most situations, it's not helpful. But I think in SM's situation because she had healed and was strong enough to do it. She did it, and that's okay. And I think that's okay. Yeah. Bama says, I want her narcissist, to get help. I love my narcissist, but she's almost killing me. I feel you. She says, my empath abilities can seriously pick up on her thoughts and activities happening to my body and mind. You got to cut that cord, girl. You're right. Somebody said something about that, but and Bama, I suggest, like I said, I know it sounds really woo woo, but try the light and the surrounding, and yeah, I think you're kind of on the same page with me, maybe with that. Judy says, my husband thinks he has a bit of Asperger's. He definitely has PTSD diagnosed from Iraq. Oh, that's a difficult situation. But your husband is not your narc, isn't that right, Judy? Or am I thinking something else? I think you indicated that your father was your narcissist. Is your husband also, or is that just a separate thing? Yeah, I don't know about, I know PTSD is difficult, whether it's war-based or abuse-based, and it's sometimes hard to live with someone with PTSD if it's not treated. And it can certainly overwhelm you, for sure. Let's see, Erica, welcome back. I am Erica Blaze. Please do a lot of research on people on the autism spectrum. There is no comparison to narcissism. Right. I think that is true. I think it's true. I don't think that, I think that even though on the outside, some people may not understand what the issue is or why people don't react the same way that who average people do who don't have autism, I really believe that there is no comparison. I don't believe these people are narcissistic at all. I don't even think they could be if they wanted to be. I don't think they're as self-focused as you may suspect. I think that what that comment that I just read from Body and Soul, what she said was totally on point. I think that's exactly what I was trying to say when I was saying they don't care about the same things as other people, but I didn't even think about the fact that they can't read faces very well. And that's another valid point, and that makes me think about other people in my life right now who don't read faces well. So, okay. SM says, stronger, wait a minute, stronger to be caught in his love bombing. So that's how you knew you were too strong to allow him to love bomb you during that meeting, is what you're saying, right? Okay. Bama Babe says, Angie, let's unmask her. She will run. She can't handle it. Okay. We can do that. If Jamie's still in here, you guys can hook up and she can hook us up with an appointment. Erica says, myth. People on the autism spectrum do not have empathy. I agree with you. I think that's true. I think it's a myth. Good morning, Linda. Love to you too, honey. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here, Linda Welch. All right. Bama says, I wanted to run into a tree for months. Oh my gosh, Bama, that's horrible. She really has done a number on you. I'm so sorry. SM says, I met stronger and to not be caught in his web of lies and deceit again. I got you. I figured that's what you meant. Yeah, absolutely. Liz says, sorry for, whoop, I lost it. Sorry for the spelling. I don't have my eyeglasses on. Spelling doesn't count in chat. Victoria says, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Victoria Moore. Welcome, welcome. Rose says, is it possible for multiple family members to be narcissistic? I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Giovanna Mog. Did I say that right? Probably not. I'm going to call you Gia. Hey, Gia. Says, is it crazy to think that I could come to an amicable divorce agreement with a narcissistic husband while still living under the same roof? I will be going for child support and alimony. He cheated. Surprise. Is it crazy? No. Is it possible? Maybe. Especially if his new supply is pushing him to finish the thing up, or if he has some other reason. But why are you living under the same roof? Is it a money thing, I'm guessing? Are you selling the house? Are you working on getting out? I need more information. Is it crazy to think it's possible? I mean, I would say this. I would say that it's probably more possible while you're living under the same roof than when you're not. But I don't think it looks from the outside. I wouldn't advise anyone to do that if there was another option. Can I say that? Yeah. All right. Because I think that he's going to continue to mess with your head and gaslight and everything else. And obviously, you're enlightened now, so that helps. But uh, you have to be very strong to get through that. And I'm sure you are. But get your steel spine out and roll with it. Kat says, "Good morning, good morning, Kat. Welcome back, welcome back." Gia says, "I have proof of everything. So far, I've done a pretty good job at Grey Rock. Good for you. But I have my triggers. We all do." She says, "I also fear what he's going to do next for revenge. Any advice?" My advice is to get out if you can right away and then deal with the divorce, or get him out if you own the house. You do not, it's not good to live in the same house with a narcissist if you need to. You know what? Here's Jillian. Jillian is an attorney, a family attorney. So she may be able to give you some information that I cannot on that, the divorce stuff. There may be a reason that you're staying in the house, maybe because you want to, you know, maybe both own the house and one of you leaves, the other one gets the house or something. I don't know. So let me just, if Jillian's still here, maybe she can offer, some resources for you to look into or something. I'm sure you may not be in the same state, but she might be able to give you an idea. She's also, by the way, one of my co-authors in my most recent book. So, excuse me, which talks about no contact. All right. And she says, Jillian says, the reason why a narcissist will not give you closure is because, yes, they see you as an extension of themselves. That's absolutely true. They only give the silent treatment when they want to, and then they hoover you when they're not. Yeah, that's true. That's legit. Yeah, absolutely. Casey Forgets says, so people on the autism spectrum do have empathy. They just have trouble showing it, right? I want to say yes. I don't want to really act like I know what I'm talking about. I know people on the autism spectrum personally, but I have not done enough research to say for sure. I can just tell you what I've observed. I've done a little research. I will do more. So stay tuned for that. And if anybody has the answer to Casey's question, I know there are some educated people in here about this, please throw it in the chat for her. Okay? If you haven't already, I know I'm a little behind on chat. Sorry about that. Nadia says, my narcissist says he is not good with words. And when I asked why he loved me, he failed that test miserably. Yep. Yet he has no problem with words when gaslighting me and putting me down. Isn't that funny how that works? It's just whatever's convenient for him. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And Jamie put the queenbeing.com/span. Thank you, Jamie. Victoria says, Nadia, so did my narcissist. Bama says, hey, have any of the empaths here been able to feel their narcissist's crazy behavior? I was 4 hours away when she was sleeping with a lover. I felt her and he as if it were my own body. Freak feel. You're very connected to that person, Bama. That is very interesting. Has anyone else experienced something like that? That's very interesting. Victoria says, so typical of them regarding what Nadia said. Yeah. Jillian says to Casey, hold on a minute. Jillian says to Casey, my son has autism and he definitely has empathy. You might ask Angie about autism comorbid with narcissism. I think she meant autism. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to research that and dig into it. I've not seen that. I've not seen that at all. And Kat says, yeah, autistic people generally have lots of emotion. For sure. I think they just don't express it sometimes the same way that everybody else does. It depends on the person, of course. Jean says to Bama, remember, don't attach an outcome, protect your heart space. The narcissist may be after more supply. I've thought the same thing, and that was why I was not sure about that. Sending you good vibes. But, like I said, I'm happy to try as long as you, understand up front what we're dealing with, and that the possibility is that it may not be successful. But I can definitely try to help and try to, but whether or not your narcissist will admit she's a narcissist or admit what she's done, it's a whole other story. So, yeah, but that is an excellent point, Jean. Thank you. Erica says, says people on the autism spectrum have a neurological difference, which is a hardwiring difference and not mental health. I agree with that. I think that's true. Yeah. Obviously, yeah, I agree. I really think it's a neurological difference, and I really think that it's very, very specific. It has nothing to do with mental health at all. I agree with that 100%. And I want to make that clear. I don't think that autism is a personality disorder at all. It's a medical condition that you're born the way that you're born, and that's how it is. And I also, for the record, I do not think that, sometimes I think people on the autism spectrum are actually more evolved than the rest of us. And I'll talk about that another day. But I really think that. Yeah. Um, Bama says, I even wrote her name on paper and put it in the freezer to try to break the psychic connection. Did you put it in water first? Try that. I don't know. I really think that tools are great and helpful, but I think it's really, and as I've evolved in my lifetime, I using most tools for anything like that. I mostly do it all, right through here. So, um, Casey says, okay, yeah, I feel like I just need to learn more about it since I love this person a lot. Okay, I can dig that, girl. I can dig that. I'll try to help. Um, Guardian Wolf, welcome back. Welcome back. Says, good morning, Ms. Angie. I stepped back from. Very good. Ah, I knew he couldn't love me and my baby and my daughter unconditionally. Excellent point. I want to say something else really quickly today. My belief is that unconditional love does not exist for adults. So the reason I say that is because the fact of the matter is that in a healthy situation, you would have had unconditional love from your parents, but a lot of us didn't get that. And so if you go your whole life looking for unconditional love, again, it's very rare in adults. The fact is that you could almost always do something that would cause that person to stop loving you, or at least stop being with you. Cheat on them or beat them, or burn their house down or something. And so that unconditional love is not a thing. I think the only people who can be unconditionally loved are the children of people. And sometimes you may unconditionally love them through adulthood. I unconditionally love my adult son, who's almost 20 now. But I certainly, we all have limits as to what we accept and what we deal with. And so I guess my point is, and I know that's a harsh thing to say, but outside of yourself and any healthy parents you may have in your life, or your grandparents or whatever, there is no unconditional love for adults. You will not find a spouse to unconditionally love you in most cases. I know that's terrible, but that means relationships take work, even healthy relationships. You have to put yourself in a position to be loved and to love. But when we're talking about narcissists, is a whole other ball of wax, and I don't know why I just brought that up now, but I just want to throw that out there. There you go. Unconditional love does not exist for adults. Okay. Jillian says, you have a big audience today again. Yes, it's a very good thing. Jamie says that empathic stuff freaks me out too. I can never tell if I'm feeling my own emotions or picking up the emotions of others. Any way to tell? Yeah, it's a practice, Jamie. It's a practice. It's something, I used to be all over the place until I figured it out. I do suggest the white light thing I told you about, and I do suggest being very in touch with yourself. And literally, sometimes you just have to go, okay, wait a minute. Is this something I'm feeling? Is there a reason I'm feeling like this? And if not, what is it? And it's a process. Yeah. It's a process to, you practice knowing yourself, and you practice learning the difference between what you're feeling and what other people are feeling. And sometimes, even now, I sometimes don't realize what the deal is until I think about it really hard. So Body and Soul says, autistics are very lovable, just don't get social conventions. They typically see the world as black or white, no gray areas, difficulty with jokes, sarcasm, etc. Yeah. And again, I stand by my original statement. I think that sometimes I think there's a possibility that autistic people are more evolved than we are in certain ways. Casey Forgets says, there are just some things he said or done that felt similar and triggering to when I was with an art. That is a very well put statement. And knowing that, I would ask you, have you given yourself enough time to heal from the narcissist before you got involved? And I know you love him, and that's okay, but maybe you need to look at some coaching or some therapy to help you work through those trigger issues if you want to stay with someone like this and be the sort of girl that he needs or she needs, and the sort of girl that he needs, and let him be the sort of guy that you need. If you love him and you want to do that, then that might be worth it. Yeah. Bama says narcs are like snakes. No matter how many skins they shed, they are still an effing snake. Yes. You're so cute. But you're right. You're right. Absolutely. Angela says, I love Life 360. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's handy dandy. And it's free. I mean, you can use like the paid version, but I've never felt this may change when my middle son starts driving, but currently I have no reason to pay for the paid version. The free version is great for me. Victoria Moore says they are evil. Yes. Love it, Angie. Get him. Bam. Yes. Oh, Brad says if you're welcome, Brad, welcome back. Says if your narcissist tells you you're so sweet, run for the hills. They've tasted supply. Ain't that the truth? Hey, Brad, did you ever hear me talk about how that True Blood show and how that all works together? I know it's very interesting. Anyway, never mind. We'll talk about that another day. I'm running out of time here. Actually, completely out of time right now. I'm going to do a couple more comments and then I'm gonna have to roll out of here. I'm so sorry. I'm running behind. I didn't realize I got so excited talking to you guys. Amelia says, Jamie, I think it's about keeping busy, surrounding yourself with people who have a light in them. Girl, that's true. And definitely reducing contact little by little. Cold turkey usually made me want to go back ASAP. That's very wise. And I think in some situations that's okay. Jamie, I don't want you to go back and I don't want you to go in little by little. Jamie, Amelia doesn't know this, but Jamie left and moved 600 miles away to protect herself and her son. So I think you still need to stay no contact, but I also think reduce. You're on the right track. I think cutting the cord is something that you want to think about. Tough ass sisters rock. Yes, we do. Girl. 5 feet of dynamite. I'm just saying. Oh, Dolores is 4'11". Hey, Susan's only 4'11". You guys, I'm so excited. You make me feel so tall. That's awesome. Oh, I love my short sisters. Yes, indeed. Oh, I just made up a word for us the other day. We're compact sized. Um, Jamie says, Mama Angie, Mama Bear Angie, you go, girl. No one messes with my kids either, y'all. Okay. Nadia says, I'm 5 and half an inch tall. Yay for shorties. Oh, see? I'm telling you, there's something to it. I do love my tall friends. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little jealous of the tallness. I don't have long legs or anything, but I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with myself. Yeah, Judy says people get scared of us little people, don't they? Don't they? we might be short, but our energy can get really big sometimes and really will seem a lot taller than we are. Kat says, so true, Brad. Yep. Okay, you guys. I love you all so much. And I'm so sorry. I wish I could stay here with you all day, but I've got to. Oh, Jillian's 5'1". Should have known. Isn't that interesting? We're all a bunch of short, cute people. All right. Amelia says, Jillian's, hold on. Jamie B says to Amelia, thank you. She says, it's only been 2 weeks for me, but I'm pretty impatient. I want to completely detach from him right now, 100%. I got to remember it's a process. Yes, my love, you do. You do. Okay. I'm going to try to read through the rest of the comments after I get off this. If I have time, I will definitely say, it may not be right away because I've got to jump into something. But, oh, Anna says, okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to answer a couple of really quick questions. Anna says, court went well, difficult but good. Thank you for the support yesterday. My pleasure. I'm so glad it went well. That's awesome news. Thank you for telling us. Joni says, my sister is pagan. I think she's casting spells on me. I win, though. I focus on my awesome 6'1" tall baby boy, awesome, and generous husband. Yes. You get what you think about. That's absolutely true. Go, girl. And you know what? Those things only work if you believe they work. Let me just put it to you that way. You can stay focused. There's nothing wrong with being a pagan. Let me just put that out there. I don't think it's wrong to be a pagan. But I think that as long as you keep yourself strong in yourself and you focus on what you want and not what you don't want, she can't win. She can't. You can be stronger than anyone else as long as you stay focused on what it is that you want more of in your life. And I think you're doing that. Go, girl. All right. With that, Joni and everybody, I'm wrapping up. I will see you later. Wait a minute. I'll see you later today for another video. We'll do our Saturday morning cartoons on Saturday, and we'll do Self-Love Sunday on Sunday. And there will be a couple of compilation videos for you this weekend as well. Happy Friday. Stay tuned. I probably will pop another video up sometime before the end of the day today. I'm working on a couple of things for you. And I'll see you soon. I'll be back Monday morning for coffee. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours, you guys. It really means a lot to me. I hope you know that. You are all important to me. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. La la la. Now I'm closing down. Here I go. Stop broadcast.